Hello, I'm Pam Jardine. In this episode, life-saving fire safety tips for you and your family. The historic Trueblood House gets a new lease on life. Some simple steps to follow to discourage vehicle prowls and home burglaries. Performing arts are alive and well in Kirkland. And finally, sights and sounds from this year's Summerfest, all in this edition of Currently Kirkland. The magnitude of the July 21st fire in Bothell put fire safety once again in the spotlight. So we checked in with Lieutenant Corey Culk of Kirkland Fire Station 27 about the best way to prepare your home and family in case of fire.
In the last 2 years, there have been 2 fatal fires within the city of Kirkland. Both of these fatal fires involved homes that were identified as not having functioning smoke detectors. Having a working smoke detector cuts your chances of dying in a fire in half. They're the first line of defense in alerting the occupants to the presence of the problem. There should be at least one on every floor of the house, one in every bedroom of the house, and also in the access ways or living areas around bedrooms. Smoke detectors have a lifespan just like any electronic or technology that we have access to. Smoke detectors should be replaced every 10 years at a minimum. They do eventually and sometimes sporadically fail, so they can be cleaned by lightly vacuuming the dust out of them. We should also be replacing the batteries every 6 months and then of course testing them monthly as well. So when you are looking for replacing or updating your smoke detectors, you should ensure that they're, of course, not only battery powered, but they have the option for being hardwired and powered by the house, interconnected with each other, so when one sounds that they all sound, and potentially using a combination detector that detects both types of fires, fast flaming or slow smoldering.
Come on kids, let's work on our fire escape plan.
Already on it.
The mind remembers what the hands do when an emergency is developing around us. Because of that, it's so important that we practice fire drills not only in our place of business or school, but that we also do the same type of thing in our own homes. So we should have a fire escape plan drawn up and communicated with the family, and everyone should not only know it, but practice it, and we should have access to that.
Let's do a fire drill. Come on, let's get outside. Hurry, hurry.
When creating a fire escape plan for the house, involve all members of the family, make it an event, and make it important. Make it fun, because the mind remembers interesting things that are fun. When an escape plan's developed, we should also have it in our children's bedrooms so that they have access to it for reference. And not necessarily even during an emergency, but it's just a constant reminder of the steps we should take in an emergency.
At least now you know what to do if there's a fire.
Uh-huh.
Fire Prevention Week is October 9th through the 15th. This year's theme is Don't Wait, Check the Date. Replace smoke alarms every 10 years. To find out how old a smoke alarm is, look at the date of the manufacturer on the back of the alarm. According to the National Fire Protection Association, the alarm should be replaced 10 years from that date. For more safety tips, go to the National Fire Protection Association website at nfpa.org and click on Public Education. Moving down the street took on a whole new meaning in August as one of the oldest homes in Kirkland moved down the block and around the corner.
The Trueblood House, which was located at 127 7th Avenue in Kirkland, made the precarious trip on August 17th. The effort to save the historic 1889 Victorian farmhouse has been almost a year in the making. The owners, Michelle and Timothy Currier, knew their growing family needed more space. They also recognized the historic significance of the house. They patiently waited to find a solution that could keep them on their current property while also preserving the home.
My daughter has had some health issues, so that played into some of our decisions to build a new structure. The cost of bringing something up to code and spec, is so exorbitant these days. We're very excited to see it moved and saved. I think the end result after all the trials and tribulations is a good one.
After learning about a possible demolition, the Nickel Brothers, a house moving company based out of Vancouver, British Columbia, came to the rescue. After meetings with the city and Public Works Department, they took the risk to finance the temporary relocation of the home. Of course, moving a home like this is always tricky, but these specialty movers know their business.
We really pride ourselves on saving historic homes whenever possible. We first learned about it about 8 months or 9 months ago, and we're trying to work on finding out ways to move it in the local Kirkland area. This is an amazing home. It's one of the most important homes on the endangered house list for Washington State. It was built in 1889, and it was built by Peter Kirk for one of his workers. It became a doctor's house in the early 20th century, and therefore became known as the Trueblood House. The house has been something that's been very important to the city of Kirkland to save, and in fact, they had tried to work on saving it as long as about a year ago.
The city's planning and building department was involved from the beginning. Angela Ruggieri, a senior planner for Kirkland, works with historical properties, and she was determined to save the house from demolition.
I'm proud. I'm proud of the city for doing this. It's not just me. It's all the departments got together to make this happen, and I'm very proud that we could save this part of Kirkland.
This isn't the only time the Nickel brothers worked with the city. Kirkland's Heritage Hall was relocated by the company in 1999. It is never an easy process.
Moving a house is a matter of putting beams underneath it and then using a unified hydraulic jacking system to jack the house up almost like an even platform. And once the house is up on the beams, we put large dolly wheels in the rear of the house that almost look like airplane wheels. And in the front, we hook up a truck, which then pulls it down the road. Most people don't think of houses as being very mobile, but it's actually a really wonderful way to be able to preserve history as well as saving the environment. When you move a house, you are saving approximately 40 to 60 trees worth of lumber being kept out of a landfill. And that roughly translates to about 100 years of recycling paper in a person's life. So you can get all your recycling karma in one fell swoop by saving a house.
What happens next with the house depends on the lucky buyer. For now, this little piece of Kirkland's history sits comfortably in the church parking lot, waiting for its next owner. Although the latest FBI statistics show neighborhood crimes such as burglary and theft are on the decline nationwide, criminals still find opportunities to commit theft and break-ins in our community. Kirkland Police Chief Sherri Harris helped us deliver some very important crime prevention messages this August. We bring you behind the scenes to discover that with a little help from our friends and neighbors, we do better than just get by.
While you're away at work doing your job, I'm busy doing mine.
Budding actor J.R. Morgan doesn't really steal cars for a living, but he did play an unusual suspect in this video, all to set the stage for a very important message. Police Chief Sherri Harris lays out some simple steps we can follow to prevent crimes from happening on our street. Videos about preventing car prowls and house burglaries and more information on crime prevention are available online at kirklandwa.gov/crime prevention. If you've been bitten by the acting bug, we're always looking for volunteer actors and locations for upcoming public service announcements. If you would like to be an actor, or perhaps lend your home for an upcoming video production, send us an email to kirklandtv@kirklandwa.gov. Mike Connor for Currently Kirkland.
Studio East youth performers played to sold-out audiences at the Kirkland Performance Center this summer. Mayor Amy Wallen and City Manager Kurt Triplett did their part for the arts by joining the production and learn a thing or two from the young acting troupe.
Aren't you going to put your wig on for this piece?
Should I?
No.
What's it been like to work with the kids?
The kids are amazing. They're so full of energy and enthusiasm, and every time we're done with the show, they're more energized and I'm exhausted. So it's been very fun to watch and learn from them.
Well, the kids are really tolerant. That's my impression. They are very kind to those of us who struggle a little bit with the performing arts. But if I get it right, they high-five me and they give me notes afterwards. Like, maybe a little bit sooner, a little bit later. They're good kids.
So what do you say before the show? Is that,
break a leg?
Break a leg. Break a leg.
Real-life Mayor Amy Wallen played the mayor of Munchkinland.
Yes, let the glorious news be spread. The wicked old witch at last is dead!
Along with State Representative Joan McBride and City Manager Kurt Triplett in the Lollipop Guild. We caught up with Lonnie Brockman, Executive Artistic Director of Studio East, a Kirkland-based nonprofit providing theater arts education and opportunities for children in Kirkland and surrounding communities.
We rehearse about 8 weeks for the summer teen program. We start putting the show together and we're piece by piece, like act one on one day, finding the transitions, because the transitions as you flow into scene to scene are really what helps tell the story.
Starting with one theater program for teens in 1992, Studio East has become one of the largest children's theater training programs in the Seattle metro area.
So we are going into our 24th season, and we've been in 3 different locations. The current location is our biggest space, which is great. And then, of course, we're at the Kirkland Performance Center during the summer with Storybook Theater. What's next, I think, is finding a permanent home, and so that the studio outlasts me. It's about the community that has become this place and how we all feed each other and grow together.
Studio East actors from the production pitched in and volunteered their time at Summerfest once again this year.
No, I've got a couple of them in the Tin Man costume and the lion costume. We had Dorothy earlier, and then they've each volunteered an hour of their time to get all hot and sticky and let the kids and adults draw them. They love it, and I love seeing them participate in this community. It's great.
Our camera crews stuck around for the day to capture some sights and sounds from the 5th season of Kirkland Summerfest, Kirkland's largest festival, featuring 2 days of music, art, and family activities at Marina Park and downtown. Thank you for watching our show. Currently, Kirkland can be in the palm of your hand. Subscribe to Kirkland Television on YouTube. We air on KGov and KLife. Send us your news tips, story ideas, and suggestions to kirklandtv@kirklandwa.gov.